fall in and find themselves in distress. Perhaps they're not wearing a life jacket, they fall off a boat. Our team responds to various different scenarios like this. So we're going to show you how we rescue folks, and we're going to talk to you about how you can assist if you see somebody who needs help on the water. When our team evaluates how to conduct a rescue, we always look at avoiding risk to the rescuer. And that's how you should look at it if you see someone in distress. So we use a 4-word plan for how we're going to go in and rescue somebody. And we call that reach, throw, row, go. Reaching is if you can reach out to someone and physically pull them back to shore. That's going to be the safest for you. You don't have to go in the water and possibly drown yourself. Reach, throw is the next option. Throw something to someone, whether that's a rope, something that floats, could be an ice chest, a life jacket would be great. Anything that's going to let them have some flotation. We're going to show you how we use a throw bag, which is a method of the throw, in a little bit here. The next method is row, and so that's where you could actually have someone go out on a boat or other craft to assist. We'll show you that as well in terms of how we can assist the rescuer from the boat without having to have a swimmer actually go in the water. And the final method is go, where a swimmer has to get in the water to assist somebody in distress. Now, we stress that this is the fourth and final option because it is the most dangerous. You really want to think about before you get into a dangerous river or lake or waterway to help somebody who's drowning, because you could become a victim yourself. But we'll show you that in the final demonstration here in terms of how we can deploy a rescue swimmer, a swiftwater rescue technician, to assist somebody who perhaps is really struggling in the water. As we go through this, you'll notice that all of our swiftwater rescue technicians who are highly trained water rescue professionals are wearing life jackets themselves, and we cannot stress enough the importance of wearing a life jacket anytime you are boating on the water, of course if you're swimming on the water, even recreating or hiking near lakes and streams where you could potentially fall into a waterway. Life jackets are the #1 tool you can use to keep yourself safe anytime you're near a waterway. Our team has never had to recover someone, meaning had to pull somebody up who passed away in the river who was wearing a life jacket. And we've been doing this since 1980. So we stress that is the #1 thing you can do to keep yourself safe. All right, we're going to go ahead and show you how we do the throw method of helping someone. So you can see someone's fallen off a boat here. This is a serious situation. The current is already taking them. Look at how quickly they're moving here. So our boat is going to conduct a throw method. They're going to go, circle back around, and they're going to throw out a line to this individual to help bring them back to safety. So let's watch. All right, see the rescuer deploys, and that's called a throw bag. That's rescue-grade rope stuffed into a bag that easily deploys out. This is one of our #1 tools, and this is something you can buy yourself. If you're a boater or spend a lot of time on the river, they're called throw bags. They're a great tool. All right. And yeah, let's give them a round of applause. They're getting him back on the boat there. Fantastic. And as they get set for the next demonstration here, we want to give a shout out to some of our partner agencies that are helping out with this demonstration today. You can see the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department, United States Coast Guard, some of our local fire departments are out here as well. Safety on the water is a collaborative mission between fire rescue agencies like us, law enforcement agencies, Homeland Security agencies. There are a whole host of folks out there keeping you safe. All right, the next demonstration we're going to show you is in line with the row method. Remember, reach, throw, row, go. So this is a demonstration of how we would assist somebody without having to physically deploy a rescue swimmer. Our rescue craft are going to get set here, but what you're going to see in a couple minutes, or hopefully sooner than that, is a victim is going to fall off of a boat, and they're going to be assisted by a rescue jet ski get back onto their craft. The rescue jet ski that you see here was actually purchased 100% with donations from the community. Like I said, we are a nonprofit group. And this is absolutely one of the most powerful tools we have out on the water. You'll see as they use it how easy it is to approach a victim. They can get close in, even in shallow water, and easily pull somebody onto the rescue board that they have attached to the back of the craft. So this is an incredible force multiplier for our agency, and you'll see a variety of other fire and law enforcement agencies are using this platform in addition to traditional swiftwater rescue boats. And the scenarios you're seeing today are all based on reality. Our team is deployed every weekend during the summer, during what we call our proactive patrol, which we do at Sacramento County Parks. And these scenarios are ones we see almost every weekend. Folks falling off boats, swimming beyond their ability. And although the river may look calm, and it's certainly a great place to recreate, it can be very dangerous. So our team stresses the importance of being safe, knowing the conditions when you go out, and of course, wearing that life jacket is, like we said, the most important thing you can do. All right, there you go. We see somebody is in the water. Again, a serious situation here. If you're not wearing a life jacket, between the cold temperatures of the river, the current pulling you, and the shock you can find yourself when you initially fall into the water, this could be a very dangerous situation. You may have only seconds to live. Fortunately, our rescue jet ski is on the scene, and they're going to assist pulling this person onto the back of the board. So watch as the swiftwater rescue technician, she's getting on the back of the craft. She's got a hold of the victim. And there we go. They've got him on board. Let's give him a round of applause. Fantastic. Now, you might be asking why they initially went past the victim and came back. That's because they always want to approach the victim with the current flowing towards the rescuers so that the victim is being brought toward them. Otherwise, we're chasing them downstream as the current moves them. We want to work with the current to make sure that it's bringing them toward us. Similarly, you want to work with the current if you find yourself in distress. One of the issues we see is folks that find themselves falling off a boat, swimming beyond their ability, and they want to swim up current, right? That's where they came from. That is one of the worst things you can do because you are not going to be able to outswim the river. And even if you could, it's going to tire you out much quicker than if you were to swim downstream at an angle toward the shore, what we call a ferry angle, swimming downstream toward the shore that you want to get to, and that's going to be the safest way if you're going to swim out. All right, the third demonstration our team is going to show you here is about when we actually have to physically deploy rescue swimmers into the water. This is the most dangerous maneuver we would have to do. Again, we always want to avoid putting other folks into the water because you could become a victim yourself. But in this case, the team's decided that they're not going to be able to get them without putting our own assets in the water. So they're going to deploy a couple rescue swimmers here in order to extricate this person from the situation, get them safely onto one of the rescue crafts. Now you'll note here the rescue swimmer is moving pretty quickly, but he's floating at the surface, and that's because he's wearing a life jacket. All right, here comes the rescue boat. You'll see the swiftwater technician rolled off the side there. The wake from the boat will push him toward the victim, and he's going to take control. Now, this can be a stressful situation. If you're drowning, you may not know what you're supposed to do when a rescuer arrives. They'll give you precise instructions, which is usually stay calm, follow my instructions, and do what I need. Okay, here goes a second rescue swimmer in to help control the situation, make sure the person's calm, able to get back on the craft. As we bring boats and jet skis around, we want to make sure that the person is calm, that they're not going to injure themselves by potentially getting stuck under the boat, climbing onto the wrong part of the jet ski. So that's why we put swiftwater rescue technicians in the water to talk people through it, make sure they're calm, and keep their head above the surface at the seconds that count when we can't get the boat right in. Okay, so one of the rescue swimmers has the victim on the back of the board there. Fantastic. Let's give him a round of applause. Wonderful. These are pretty dramatic scenarios we showed you today, and these are based on reality. But remember, there's ways that you can affect water rescues yourself without all the fancy toys that we had out today. the reach, throw, row, go method of limiting your risk to help bring somebody back to safety is the standard that we use, and it's the standard that you should use if you see somebody in distress who needs help. And of course, you can say it with me. What's the most important thing to wear if you're going in the river? Life vests. That's right. Fantastic. Okay, we're next going to show you a really cool demonstration of how our team and the Sacramento County Sheriff's Departments can work together to effect more complex water rescues. So I'm going to turn it over to our Sheriff's Department, and they're going to talk through a little bit of what you're about to see here.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deputy Joe Gordon with the Sheriff's Office, and I'm a member of our Scout UAS, which Scout stands for Sheriff Craft for Observation Utilizing Technology. But some of the craft that we have, including the one that we're using today, we have the ability to drop a payload from. Now, in a search and rescue mission, such as a stranded hiker, we might use the payload dropping capability to bring out something like a walkie-talkie so that we can communicate with our victim, or a first aid kit, or a bottle of water if they're extremely dehydrated. But another situation that we might use the UAS craft, especially with all the rivers that we have around Sacramento, drop a life preserver if we need to get a life preserver out to somebody in the water extremely quickly. So in the Sheriff's Office, along with Metro Fire and nearly all the public safety agencies in Sacramento County, are beginning to incorporate unmanned aircraft or aerial systems, such as the Matrice 600 that you can see out in front of you. So this is a DJI craft similar to what you could buy in stores. This is a hexacopter, so it's got 6 rotors, 6 batteries, and this craft has the capability to drop 3 separate payloads. So we have 3 life preservers that our partners at DART gave to us to practice this demo with. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a swimmer in the water, and then we are going to utilize the craft to bring a life preserver to the swimmer. So in a case where we need to get a life preserver out to somebody really quickly, if a boat or a jet ski is extended, we can use the UAS to fly a life vest out to the victim and get them floating above water until we can get a rescue craft in. So looks like they're setting it up now. All right, and there's a swimmer in. Here comes the craft. So there's 2 visual observers that are deputies that are not piloting that craft, that are watching out for obstacles to make sure that we don't crash that thing into anything or anybody. And then the pilot is using a remote control and the camera to bring that craft in line with the swimmer, and then we're going to drop the vest to the swimmer. This is new technology to us, so it's something that we are learning as we go. And that was a pretty good drop. So about 6 feet from the swimmer, and now the swimmer has that life vest on, and we have that person floating above water safely, and then we can bring in the rescue crafts, such as DART's jet ski, to come in and scoop them up. Now, we use these craft in a lot of different situations. I talked about search and rescue and water rescue. We also use these in tactical situations, such as a barricaded subject, or if we have someone that foot bails, like something from a pursuit, we can use that craft to search a large area. This particular one that you see in front of you just has a visible light camera. This one that we use, we call it our heavy lifting drone, because we can lift up to about 15 pounds with that craft that you see in front of you, and it can fly for about 45 minutes, and our limit on range is about a mile. So as long as we have a direct line of sight between the pilot and that craft, we can fly out about a mile. Our limiting factor currently is Sacramento has a lot of airports, so there's a lot of air traffic, and our priority is to keep that thing out of the way of a manned aircraft. So we have to operate in pretty restricted airspace, but looks like we're going to set up for another drop here. All right, that was about a foot away from their hands. That was pretty good. So like I said, this is new to us. We've done lots of training in search and rescue and in water rescue, but we haven't had the opportunity to deploy this yet. But we have deployed these UAS in some tactical situations, such as barricaded subjects. And the really cool thing is we're able to stream what that camera on that craft sees to our tactical commanders that are making decisions on a crime scene. So ordinarily, the incident commander who's in charge of, say, a barricaded subject would be maybe a block away in a safe location, and they'd be making decisions on how to what to do on the call blindly. But now with the UAS, we're able to give a camera and a perspective to that tactical decision maker, and they can see the scene firsthand. They're not getting it through radio traffic. So they can move the camera around. Okay, I want to try to see in that window. Okay, can you zoom out so I can get an overview of what we're looking at? And it's just a really great force multiplier for us. It's also, one of the questions that comes up very frequently is, are we going to replace helicopters with UAS like this? And the short answer is no, because we have a limited range, we have a limited flight time, which on this craft is about 45 minutes. On some of our smaller craft, it's usually about 20 minutes. And they're also limited in speed. The fastest one that we have can only go about 45 miles an hour, so a vehicle pursuit, that would not work. And also, we have to have a direct line of communication between the handheld controller of the person that's actually flying this and the craft itself. So looks like we're setting up for a third drop. So he's going to track that swimmer downstream. Not too bad. The wind caught that one a little bit. There is a reason why it doesn't come down lower, and the reason is the pilot who's piloting that craft is using the camera on it to pilot it. And the closer he is to the water, the less view he has of that swimmer. So if he's up a little bit higher, it's easier to get the swimmer acquired in the camera and then is able to drop it. Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, the UAS will never replace our helicopter, but one of the cool capabilities that it does have is the helicopter and airplanes that we use for typical aerial support have to orbit. So if it's something like a barricaded subject in a house, that helicopter will have a view of the front of the house for maybe 90 degrees of the orbit, and then we lose the front of the house until that helicopter comes back to the front. Whereas with a UAS like this one, we can sit and hover right over the front of the house and maintain a stream video of the front of that house to the commanders that are making decisions. And even if the situation goes on long enough, what we can do is land the craft in front of what we need to look at and sit there on the ground for hours, streaming that video, but not using the energy to fly it. So this one doesn't have FLIR. This one currently has just a visible light camera, but we do have a couple different craft that have FLIR. We have a smaller craft that we've used for hiking search and rescue, where we're able to drop first aid kits, walkie-talkies, water bottles. And then some of our other ones also have FLIR, so we can see people in the dark, people that are obstructed by trees or bushes, and it's a really great asset for us. Our Scout UAS unit just started in January of this year, so we are currently at about 11 pilots and about 7 or 8 craft, and we're looking to build. Sacramento Metro Fire has many more pilots and many more craft, but we all work and train together for situations like this, where maybe Sacramento Police Department could get here faster and could get a craft in the water, but say up further on the American River, closer where the sheriff's office works, we might be able to get somebody out faster. So the sheriff's office, Sacramento Police, Sacramento Fire, Metro Fire, Citrus Heights Police, we all work together training on these missions so that if something happens, we can all bring our resources out,
so for
and it's all in the interest of public safety.
Stage area, the helicopter will be here in 5 minutes on the river stage, which basically means anywhere up and down the river. They'll be doing a water drop. Helicopter will be here in 5 minutes. It is not too late for you to make your way down to the river stage, find a nice shady spot, and go watch this incredible demonstration. 5 minutes for the river drop.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. In less than 5 minutes, Sacramento Metro Fire helicopter will come in and put on a show to kind of cap this river demonstration off. You're going to love it. If you haven't seen this before, you will love it. Again, Sac Metro Fire air operations coming up in about 4 minutes. Stick around.
demo flight.
Roger that. You are free to fly in.
We'll be doing a flyover followed by 3 dips.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are hearing and what you may be seeing, what you should be seeing, is the Sac Metro Fire Air Operations Helicopter being piloted right now by Monty Van Landingham. Work your way over here by the river if you can, if you're not here yet. You've got a little bit of an opportunity to see some pretty cool air firefighting operations. They're going to demonstrate just how they do that, and we're going to give you a little bit of background info at the same time. Get those phones ready, get those cameras ready. They're going to put on a pretty cool display. He's going to flip that helicopter upside down. No, I'm just kidding. We wouldn't want to do that. Metro Fire Air Operations has been in operation since 2001. They have 2 aircraft in their current inventory. They support all of the Sacramento metropolitan area, as well as various agencies within the local area, including federal and state agencies. They help out with all kinds of disasters and emergencies. The helicopter you're looking at is a UH-1H Huey helicopter. It's equipped for wild land fire suppression using what they call simplex mounted water tanks that hold about 375 gallons of water. There'll be a pop quiz after this. So what you're seeing now is Monty Van Landingham, the pilot, hovering over the water. He's going to deploy that snorkel, and he's going to hydraulically pump 375 gallons of water into the tank. It's only going to take about 30 seconds. 30 seconds to pump 375 gallons of water. Then what he's going to do is going to take off, and he's going to come back, and just imagine that there's a fire on this river. It's a wildland fire. He's going to show you how they use that helicopter to suppress wildland fires. So all of that water that he just sucked up into that helicopter tank is going to be deployed. In other words, it's going to spray that imaginary fire. Oh, and by the way, he's got a siren on that helicopter too, kids. Can you imagine? All right, here he comes, folks.
For the drop.
Roger that. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Ooh, you're allowed. There you go. There's another one. It's not done yet, folks. Stick around. He's going to do it again. Now, if you clap loud enough so he can hear you, as an encore, he may come back. But you got to clap really loud for him to hear you. So now all crew members aboard are paramedics and can provide emergency medical support and care for patient transport to local hospitals, of course. We have external load capabilities with long lines to move cargo and equipment as well, including animals. Here he goes. All right, kids, how many gallons? How many gallons of water can he take up in 30 seconds? Do you remember? 375 gallons of water in 30 seconds. Off he goes on his mission. Now, normally, when these guys are out fighting wildland fires, they have to find a water source. Could be a lake, could be a pond, it could be a pool. Wherever they can get the water, they're going to grab it. And then they'll fly to their designated drop zone. Sac Metro Fire Air Operations would coordinate all of this. They fly about 280 flights like this every year. 280 a year. Here he comes. Yeah, a round of applause for Monty Van Landingham, everybody. Pretty awesome. He's a veteran. He's been doing this.
You guys like a third drop?
Well, let me ask the crowd. Does everybody want a second or a third drop? That's affirmative, Monty. Do it one more time for us.
Metro, after one copies, coming around.
By the way, folks, when we asked Monty to do this again, this is his 4th year doing this for us, he said, "You couldn't keep me away." He loves doing this as much as we love watching it. So we really appreciate his participation. Does that breeze feel good or what? All right, here comes your encore, ladies and gentlemen. Sac Metro Fire Air Operations. 4 pilots, 4 tactical flight officers, and 6 paramedics, who are called aerial observers and rescuers. Again, 120,000 gallons of water, by the way, they drop annually on average on wildland fires. 120,000 gallons. All right, here he comes. Are you ready? Yeah. Can I get a yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, a nice low draw. Ooh, what is this? Look at that. Whoa. That'll wet your whistle. That is a wrap, Mr. Van Landingham. Thank you again. We hope to see you next year.
We'll definitely see you again next year. Have a great day. Thank you for having us.